Welcome back to the channel. So it's official, UFC 311, the first pay-per-view card of 2025. It's official. It's in the books, man. It's official now. So let's start at the top of the. Might as well just start at the top of the card, man. I thought it was a very good card. I was excited to see Islam Makhachev. I really wanted to see him fight Tsarukyan, you know what I mean? Armin Tsarukyan. I hope I'm not messing that name up too much. But he had an injury, and so they stepped in with Renato Moicano, who's a beast, and he was on like a four fight winning streak, right? Out of his last 5 fights, he's won 4. So he was coming. You know, I know about Renato Moicano. He's a really good fighter, very good fighter, man. And so he replaced Arman Tsarukyan, who had an injury, and I was like, man, what happened to Arman Tsarukyan? And so I looked it up before I got on here, and I guess he reported to Dana White like a day or two before the fight that he had a back injury and couldn't fight. But I think it had to be the same day, like a day before. So he had to report to the UFC like 1 day before, because he did the press conference and everything, you know. And I was so excited to see these two get, you know, especially for him. You know, it's been 6 years since their first fight. And I was excited for him to see how much he had grown and how much he's gotten better, and to see what he could do against Islam Makhachev. But anyway, let's just get into the fight. We'll start at the top of the card. I just had to get that out there that, you know, that was the only thing about the card that was disappointing to me, is that I didn't get to see Arman Tsarukyan and Islam Makhachev go at it. But in replacement, we had Renato Moicano, like I said, on a 4-fight winning streak. Came in there to do what he was supposed to do, but, man, Islam Makhachev, he's the truth, man. He made this dude look, man, first of all, it seemed like, you know, Renato Moicano came out, he was throwing the jab, long arms, you know what I'm saying? I think they're both about the same height. I think 6'1" or 6 feet or something like that. I'm not sure. Don't quote me if I'm wrong. But I know that he had the a 1-inch reach advantage over Islam Makhachev. So he came out and he was throwing the jab. He was looking pretty good at first, man. But I think he threw a jab and the whole crowd got excited because Islam Makhachev slipped and he fell. And they thought that, you know, he slipped and fell. They thought that it was a punch that hit him. Even the commentators thought a punch had hit him, but it wasn't. He slipped and he fell. But when he got back up, I guess he said, you know, forget that, man. I'm just going to grab this dude and take him to the ground, which is exactly what he did. He took Moicano to the ground, man, and he put him in that Darce choke, and that was it. I mean, the fight didn't even, man, the fight lasted what? What they say, the time, 4 minutes and 5 seconds time, submission. It didn't even last. There was like, so what is that? 55 seconds. 55 seconds, right? There was 4 minutes and 5 seconds left in the round. So it was a 55-second submission. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't really nothing to it, man. I don't see anybody messing with this guy, man. Islam is the truth. A lot of people saying that he might move up to because this is a lightweight title bout, and then, you know, it's different, the lightweight and the weights and stuff from boxing. So I'm kind of I got to get my title, you know, the weights right. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different. So he wants to move up, and I think he wants to move up to fight the champion Belal Muhammad. You know, Belal Muhammad, I think, is the next weight class up. And I'm not sure. So you got lightweight, and then what's after lightweight? Do you got, what is it, middleweight? Let's look and see. Let's look and see. You know what I mean? Belal Muhammad, what weight class is he in? So we'll just look and see real quick. And just push in Belal Muhammad. Belal Muhammad. Let's see. Welterweight. Okay. So, welterweight. Belal Muhammad is an American professional mixed martial. He's a welterweight. So, he wants to move up to welterweight, right? So, you know, I think he could do it. Bilal, I like Bilal. Bilal was at the fight too, man. Bilal was at the fight. I like Bilal Muhammad, man. He's a man. It's all these champions basically are European now. Even though Bilal Muhammad lives in Chicago, right? And a lot of other these Europeans are starting to move to America too. But like I said, the main card, man, that was like I said, we didn't get to see the fight we really wanted to see, and he just made it look so easy. That Darce choke, he got this dude down and put him in that Darce choke, and it wasn't really nothing else to it. And he was like, they asked him at the end of the fight, man, who would you like to fight next? He goes, this is my belt. I like this belt. If you want this belt, get in line. Come, So basically anybody, right? So that was it with the Islam Makhachev and Renato Marciano. I know Marciano feels real bad, man, because this is a chance of a lifetime. And you know how many people just to make it to the UFC is a great accomplishment, right? Just to get to the UFC in combat sports, that's top notch. You're at the top, you're at the elite level, right? So, to get a title shot in the way that he got the title shot, I know that he's very disappointed in his performance. But I think this dude, I think he'd probably get another shot later on if because he's a good fighter, man. That's why I know Islam is the truth, man, because Marciano was a very good fighter, man, top notch, top level. And he made it look like, man, like kids play. So let's move down the line a little bit, and we go to our next fight, which I have to say is was the main fight I really wanted to see since we couldn't see. Both of these fights I wanted to see because, as you can see, Islam Makhachev is coached by Khabib Nurmagomedov, and Khabib's cousin Umar Nurmagomedov fought MERAB Dvalishvili for the belt in the co-main event. Now MERAB just got the belt, man. He just beat Sugar Sean O'Malley for the belt. He just got the belt, and now he has to turn right back around and defend the belt against one of the best. I think these two guys right here are the two best, number one and number two, in the bantamweight division. I don't think there's anybody else that could have came and challenged MERAB for this belt the way that Umar Nurmagomedov did. And the fight was so close, man. But they don't call MERAB the machine for nothing. They call MERAB the machine. And all my UFC fans, they know this, man. MERAB has a gas tank on him that's unbelievable. Because in the first 2 rounds, man, Umar was on him. He was doing what he needed to do. He was making it look, man, Umar was on this dude. Let me tell you, man, I think those first 2 rounds, Umar won those first 2 rounds. I could be wrong, but on my scorecard, I think that Umar won those first 2 rounds. And then third, fourth, and the fifth, it's kind of like when you press on your gas, you press, it's like, yeah, man. That's how MERAB was, man. And it was still close, but, he tired him out. It's not like that he beat him up, beat Umar up. It's just like Umar was just too tired, and you can see the difference. You can see the level change. You know what I mean? You can see the difference. So, a very good fight. It went the distance. You know what I'm saying? It went the distance. So, it was a very good fight. He won by unanimous decision. MERAB Dvalishvili did. And so we don't even know what's next for MERAB, right? I mean, what's really next for MERAB? That's the question, right? I'm wondering what's next for this guy. Who can really challenge, can come up and challenge this guy. I can't even think of nobody. You know what I'm saying? And just like in Islam's case, you got Topuria, Ila Topuria, talking about that he might want to come up and challenge Islam, or but I don't think Islam's going to do that. Like I said, I think Islam is going to move up and try to get that other belt in the welterweight division. So that's what I think. That's what his plan. I don't think he's looking down. I think he's looking up. You see what I'm saying? I don't think Islam, I don't think he thinks in his mind that he has anything to gain by beating a smaller man. That's just my take. I don't think he does. So, like I said, MERAB, that was a good fight, man. They was going back and forth. If you like technical if you're a UFC fan and you really like the technical aspect of fighting and you know what you're looking at, man, this fight was very entertaining. Back and forth, the back and forth, the flows of the fight, man. It was just you just watching. I mean, MERAB broke a record for takedown attempts and takedowns, I believe, right? I think he broke a record in that category right there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he shot on this dude for over 20, close to almost 25 times. And I don't know how many takedowns, nine, maybe 8 or 9 takedowns, I believe. I could be wrong, but yeah, man. But I think he broke a record when it came to that stat right there, right? So, you know, MERAB and Umar's still young, man. He got that title shot really quick, man. So he still has a chance to grow. Like he said, he actually thought he won the fight. He said he has to go back and take a look back at the tape and see, you know, he thought he won the fight. You know what I mean? But he was out of breath, bro. I don't know how you thought you won that fight. I mean, like I said, he didn't get beat up. He really didn't get beat up. It's not like he was just tired. It was just like, you know, and then when he got thrown down, he got back up. It's not, to me, when MERAB was taking him down, he didn't have control. There was no control time. Umar always got back up. He got right back up. And sometimes he was just throwing him down. You know what I mean? And he would flip on and get right back up. It wasn't like he got him down and had any real control time, like any close to any submissions. There was any close to any submissions at all. You know what I mean? So it's like I said, you might have to watch the fight. I probably have to watch the fight again, actually. You know what I mean? I probably would have to watch that fight again, you know, because MERAB was doing a lot of showboating. You know what I mean? And the crowd was going for him. You know, he did a lot of showboating. You know what I'm saying? And so it just depends on you. If you're the type of person who like people who showboat, or you might be the type of person who don't like it. You know what I'm saying? I might be a little biased also because I was actually going for Umar. I thought Umar was going to win this fight. I thought Khabib was going to make history tonight, but he didn't. You know, Islam maintained his belt, but he wanted to see, I guess his father's dream was to see UMAR NURMAGOMEDOV, which is Khabib's cousin. He wanted to see them, you know, see him as a champion also. And I think that was the dream for Khabib to be champion and retire, then for Islam to become champion, and then for Umar NURMAGOMEDOV, his cousin, to become champion. I think that was all in his father's plan, and it got derailed last night, but I think that Umar NURMAGOMEDOV will be back. I think he'll be back. So let's just go down to the next fight. Jiri Prochazka. I hope I'm saying that right. You know, these names are kind of hard. Yuri, is it Yuri? You don't pronounce the J? Yuri or Jiri? Somebody let me know. Jiri Prochazka versus Jamal Hill. Man, it was a good fight. Gotta tell you, it was a good fight, man. It was a good fight, man. He got KO'd, but it was a good fight. They stopped the fight, but it was a good fight, man. In round 3, they stopped this fight, man. It almost went the distance. You know what I mean? Almost went the distance. Yuri is a light heavyweight champion. So is Jamal Hill. Both of them were light heavyweight champions, and neither one of them lost their belts in the octagon. They both lost their belts from injuries, right? They both lost their belts from injury. Neither one of these guys lost their belts when they were the champion. They never lost their belts inside the ring. They had to give the belt up because of the injury, right? Now, they were going back and forth, man, and Yuri, he caught him, man. He caught him, but Jamal Hill, man, that long reach that Yuri has, and you know, he's into Zen, you know what I mean? He's this guy, you know what I mean? Shouts out to Yuri, though, you know, because he, you know, I thought he had next for real, man, when he had the belt, and then he got hurt, man. Because this dude is a physical specimen, man. He's really built, man. This dude is a physical specimen. Don't get it twisted. And Jamal Hill, if you're a UFC fan, or you know, if you watch UFC, we all know Jamal Hill's been around the block, man. He'll fight anybody at any time. And, you know, shouts out to Jamal Hill. He'll never give up, man. He just said he got caught, and then he got back up and he started to fight. And he was catching Yuri a little bit, too. He busted Yuri up. And I think it was like 1-1. I think Yuri had the first round. I think Jamal had the second round. And then Yuri came back in the third round and busted Jamal up. And that was all she wrote. You know what I'm saying? They stopped the fight. You know, which was a good stoppage. You know, Jamal got busted up, man. When he first got hit and got knocked down in the first time, you know, his eye swelled. You know, he had a mouse up under his eye. So he was busted up in the face. So when he came back from that, that's what I like about Jamal, man. Boy, I like somebody who, you can see the dog. He got dog in him, man. But every dog sometimes have their day. Every dog has his day sometimes. You can't beat everybody. It's kind of like football. On any given Sunday, you know, anything can happen in the UFC, man. It's hard. That's why they say, you know, shouts out to Islam, man, because it's hard to stay undefeated in the UFC, man. It's hard. They fight a lot. They have a lot of fights. They have a lot of, I mean, it's worldwide. I mean, it's like you're fighting people from all over the world, you know. Which in boxing you do the same thing, but it's just in UFC the matchmaking is so, it's like, you know, ain't no, you know, we gonna be waiting 2-3 years to see no fight, man. It ain't like that, man. That's one thing I gotta give Dana White props. Dana White and the UFC props for, man. They make the fights we want to see, man. And that's why UFC, man, is coming up. Don't get it twisted now. I'm a boxing fan and a UFC fan. So all you guys out there who listen to me, man, you can get both that from me. Both those contents you can get from me. Because I like UFC and I like boxing. And we're going to try to stay, like I say, this is the first pay-per-view card of the year, UFC 311, right? And it was a pretty good card. And so let's go down to the next fight, right? Let's go to the next fight. And hold up. I done messed up here. Let me find that again. We go to this next fight. Hold on just a second. Okay, our next fight that we got on next up was Alton. We're working our way down from the top to the bottom. So Alton Almeida. I heard somebody say Jalton. I believe that J. Ain't the J silent? Isn't his name Alton Almeida? Can somebody leave me a comment in the comment section? If you're from Brazil, if you know anybody from Brazil, or just like, is the J silent and it's Alton Almeida, or is it Jalton? I think it's Alton. I'm Alton Almeida. We'll go with Alton Almeida for now until I find out. Versus Sergey Spivak from Moldova. These are two big guys, man. Heavyweights too, man. I think your boy came in at Spivak at 235, and Alton Almeida, I think he came in at 233, and this was a good fight, man. But it was a good fight until Alton Almeida. I gotta remember, how did he TK'd this guy in the first round, man. So it really didn't last that long. And Alton Almeida needed this, man, because he had next, man. He had next, and then who did he get beat by? Who did Alton Almeida lose to? He lost to somebody he shouldn't have lost to. I'm trying to remember, but for the sake of this video, we're not going to get into it for the sake of this video, because there's a whole bunch of other research I probably have to do to pull that up. I should have pulled it up before I got on here. I'm sorry, excuse me. But Alton Almeida, man, he needed this fight, man, because, you know, I think he's calling out Aspinall. He's calling out Aspinall, Tom Aspinall. If Tom Aspinall wants to fight, this guy right here, he's really ready and able. I mean, if we don't know what's going on with John Jones and Tom Aspinall, you know, I guess Tom Aspinall has been waiting in the wings for John Jones. And, you know, John Jones is like a diva, bro. You know, everybody wants to see that fight with him and Tom Aspinall, man. Everybody wants to see that fight. I'm not sure if they're in negotiations. If he's in negotiations, I thought I might have heard something about him being in negotiations with the UFC to try to get that Tom Aspinall fight going, you know, but I don't know if he's just teasing us or not. But after this fight, after this TKO that he displayed last night, he called out Tom Aspinall. Like, you know, they asked him, who do you want next? And he was like, if Tom wants to get it on and he can't get a fight with John Jones, hey man, I'm available and he's ready to go. I'm not sure if he can really actually hang with Tom Aspinall. You know, Tom Aspinall's a really good fighter. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, hey, that's what we're in the fight game for. That's what I like it. You know what I'm saying? Alton Almeida said, yeah, he, you know, I don't, you know, he, like I said, he really needed this win last night. He got it with a TKO, and boom, he's back in the hunt, calling out Tom Aspinall. So now the main card started out with Kevin Holland and Reinier de Ridder. I think I've seen Reinier de Ridder fight a couple times. He's good. Very good fighter. You know, nothing to brag about. But Kevin Holland, man, this dude right here, I got Kevin Holland, man. This is my whole thing with this dude, man. When I first seen Kevin Holland, he first started fighting, me and my son was watching him, man. We was like, oh man, our expectations and for this guy was very, very high, bro. I mean, and then he was doing he's long, he's rangy, you know what I mean? And he was whooping butt when he first started, man. But then he started talking. Every time, okay, man, he started talking more than he was fighting. You know what I mean? Why? I mean, I know you got to sell yourself in the UFC or in the fight game. Sometimes in the fight game, you have to be more than just a fighter. Sometimes you want to promote your brand. You know what I mean? You want to brand yourself, and you get more. You get more people to watch you. You get more of a following. You know what I mean? You become you pay, your pockets get better. You know what I mean? Because you have a brand. Your opportunities, there are more opportunities, is what I want to say, when you get your branding right. You know what I'm saying? You might be doing, like I said, I seen him in a commercial. He's in a commercial with Wonder Boy. I don't know if y'all seen that commercial in that Wonder Boy, with him and Wonder Boy. I can't remember what the commercial was about, but he's in a commercial with them and with Wonder Boy. And so I guess it's working out a little bit, man, but I had so much high hopes for this dude, but he talks too much. Even while he was getting submitted in round one, when Reinier de Ridder had him on his back, he was on his back talking. Instead of trying to find a way to get up out of that position, I'm like saying to myself, he's right there by the fence. He's not trying to use his hips to back up to the fence, to try to get to the fence, to stand back up. This dude, I mean, you've been in the UFC far too long to be content with just sitting on that mat with this dude just, eventually submitting you. I mean, come on, man. Because of that talk, man. And, so Kevin Holland, right, he's the beginning. Now he's the first on the main card. Next week's time we'll see him, it'll probably be on the prelims, right? And then he's going to work his way down until you work your way out of the UFC, right? That's basically what's going to happen. So, that was the main card. Like I said, the first card of the 2025 UFC 311. Very exciting card. Like I said before, started off with Kevin Holland and Reinier de Ridder. As you can see, Reinier de Ridder defeated Kevin Holland by way of submission. Then we had our next next fight. We had Alton Almeida with Sergey Spivak. Alton Almeida by TKO in the first round. And then our third fight on that card was Yuri Prochazka versus Jamal Hill. Really good fight. I just have to say, that was a really good fight, man. Even though, shouts out to Jamal Hill, even though he lost. Sometimes it's not that you lose, it's how you lose. You know what I mean? It's how you lose. He lost, but he showed heart in his loss, right? And so Yuri Prochazka by TKO in the third round, right? So then we get to the co-main event, what we all came to see, right? You know what I'm saying? We had our appetizers. Now we get to the main course. So on the main course, MERAB Davishvili versus UMAR NURMAGOMEDOV. And, hey, very good fight. If you're technical, if you like the technical aspects of the UFC, this fight is, man, it was a good fight. I don't see how you cannot like this fight, man. Very good fight. It was so close. Like I said before, might have to watch it again to find out, was it really a unanimous decision for MERAB? But that's what happened. It was went the distance, 5 rounds with a unanimous decision for MERAB Davishvili to maintain his bantamweight championship belt. So in the main course, Islam Makhachev versus Renato Moicano. Of course, like I said before, what's that guy's name? All these European names, they be getting me off sometimes, and I be forgetting. But Renato Moicano had substitute for UMAR. Tasukian for Tasukian, because Tasukian had a back injury. How did you get a back injury the night before the fight, bro? How did you? I don't understand that. How did you the night before the? It was like a 1 day notice because Renato Moicano was supposed to be on that card and he was supposed to fight Benil Dariush, and so I don't know if they must have paid Benil Dariush step aside money because they moved Renato Moicano up to fight Islam because Tasukian couldn't fight because of a back injury. Are you really supposed to be training that hard right before a fight? Right? I mean, the night or two before the fight, or I don't know. It's just I'm just disappointed that we didn't get to see that fight. You know what I mean? 6 years in waiting for Tasukian to get another shot at this title, man, and that back injury got him out like that. Yeah. So Islam, round 1 submission. No, man, he made it look. The truth, man. That's all I can say, man. This dude is the truth, and possibly will be moving up to the welterweight division for a title shot. And might be champion in 2 weight classes. I think that might be what Islam Makhachev might be planning next. So, yeah. So that's all I got for you guys right now, man. The card was good. It's the first card of the year, and we'll get back with you, man. I'll see you guys again on the next UFC. When the next UFC. Fights come up, man. If they, some guys that I think they're I don't know if we're gonna be able to cover all the fights, man, but definitely the pay-per-views, man. Definitely will do the pay-per-views, man. So, like I said, man, Rowdy Nation TV, man. Click the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, so anytime I drop a video, you guys can be notified. I'm out.